Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 25th, 2018 regular meeting of the Board of Education. I'm Kate Borninski, and I thank you all for joining us tonight. Right now, I would like my fellow board members to introduce themselves, starting on my left.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kim Crouch. Thanks for coming out tonight.
And I'm Patricia Mullen. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Patty McCoy, thank you for coming out tonight.
Hi, Patrick Kehoe. Thanks for being here this evening.
Good evening. I'm Anupam Chuksadhu. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Doug Brooks. Thanks for coming.
Ms. Merritt, would you like to welcome your staff?
Good evening and welcome this evening. I'd like to begin by introducing my assistant, Elizabeth Adams, and thank her for all of the hard work that she does and wish her a happy belated birthday, Liz. Woo-hoo. Yes. Hi, Liz. Also, birthday. She tried to get that one past us. Also, I'd like to introduce Charlie Jones, the man behind the scenes who makes sure that he tapes our meetings so that our community can see the meetings when they're not able to be present. I'd like to ask the remainder of the staff to introduce themselves to you, beginning with Mr. Brandon.
Good evening, everyone. Nick Brandon, Executive Director of Communications and Marketing. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Debbie Piaz, Chief Financial and Operations Officer.
Welcome, everyone. Liz Vartanian-Gibbs, Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources.
Good evening, Kurt Tiskowitz, Executive Director of Student Services.
Hello, I'm Mike Bender, Chief Academic Officer.
Good evening, Heather Colombo, President, Education Association.
Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I also wanted to remind my fellow board members tonight to please make sure you speak into the microphones. I know there's been a few issues with the recordings and not picking up people's voices, so please.
Is the push mute?
The push is mute, yes. Okay. We're on unless you push.
Okay.
Okay. The first item on our agenda is the consent agenda.
President Borninski, I would like to recommend this evening that we amend the agenda to go into closed session at the end of this meeting for the purposes of collective bargaining negotiations pursuant to the Opens Meeting Act.
Okay. Is there a motion on amending the agenda?
Madam President, I'll make a motion to amend the agenda to go into closed session for the purpose of negotiations.
I'll second that.
Okay. The motion was made by Member Sidhu and supported by Member Brooks. Does anyone have any discussion on that? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion passes 7-0. Okay. So now I'm looking for a motion on our approval of the agenda and approval of the consent agenda, all as amended.
Madam President, I move that we adopt the agenda and approve the consent agenda as amended, action item 180925.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion was made by Member Mullen and seconded by Member Brooks. Any discussion? Okay. Ms. Merritt, would you like to take us through the consent agenda?
Yes, the consent agenda this evening consists of human resources transactions since our last time together. Believe it or not, we are still hiring champions. We have new hires, administrative replacements for our Director of Curriculum and Professional Development, as well as the Student Support Coordinator at Hoban Elementary. We also have leaves and resignations, as well as tenure recommendations for your consideration this evening. We have the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting that was on September 11th, 2018.
Okay. All in favor? Please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to introduce you to some new teachers to Plymouth Canton Community Schools. So when I call your name, if you could come up, please. First, Nicole Anderson, elementary art teacher. Welcome, Nicole. Nicole comes to us with 1 year of experience as well as a bachelor's degree from Michigan State University. Next, we have Kiki Oyat. She is going to be our new science teacher at Liberty Middle School. She comes to us with 12 years of experience as well as a bachelor's degree from Olivet College and a master's degree from Oakland University. Welcome, Kiki. Vicki Baker. Vicki comes to us with a bachelor's degree from Purdue University and a master's degree from Eastern Michigan University, plus over 15 years of experience. She will be an elementary art teacher in our district. Kathy Gorkowski. She is our new occupational therapist in our district at the elementary level. She has a master's degree and a bachelor's degree from Baker's College. Welcome, Catherine. Angelina Hammonds, our new resource room teacher at Salem High School. She will be also co-teaching in this program. She comes to us with over 4 years of experience as well as a bachelor's degree from Bethel College and a master's degree from Grand Canyon University. Julie Nakarski-Tankard. Julie is our new science teacher at Liberty Middle School. She comes to us with over 14 years of experience with a bachelor's degree from Eastern Michigan University and a master's degree from Spring Arbor College. Welcome, Julie. Jessica Scott. Jessica comes to us with a bachelor's degree from Albion College and a master's degree from University of Michigan Ann Arbor. She is a brand new teacher at Farron Elementary School. Congratulations and welcome, Jessica. Stephanie Sosin. Stephanie is a new math teacher at Liberty Middle School. She comes to us with 2 years of experience as well as a bachelor's degree at Eastern Michigan University. Courtney Stewart is our new English language teacher at Bentley Elementary School. Welcome, Courtney. She comes to us with a bachelor's degree from Grand Valley State University as well as a master's degree from University Michigan Ann Arbor. We are so fortunate that you have selected Plymouth Canton Community Schools, and we look forward to working with you as you support our students in our community. So welcome.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Welcome to the district.
Welcome.
Welcome to the district. Welcome to the
Welcome. Nice to
district.
teach you.
Welcome to the district.
Nice talking to you on the phone.
Hi, welcome. Nice to have you. Congratulations.
Welcome, welcome again.
Welcome. I know I talked to you so much on
My
the phone.
son's a grandfather.
Congratulations. I know. Congratulations. I can start changing it.
Hi.
Congratulations, Ari.
Wow.
Friends of who? Friends of the bride.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we were talking to you on the phone. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Welcome. Good luck.
You're welcome. I'll see you when I visit Salem, okay?
Welcome. Thank you.
Hi, Jessica. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Welcome. Your court grant. Yes, we're so glad to have you.
I feel like we're in a wedding.
Congratulations.
Let's go talk to me.
Thank you so much. So next, I would like to introduce to you two new administrators in our school district. First, I will introduce Dr. Deirdre Brady. Dr. Deirdre Brady will be the new Director of Curriculum and Professional Development here in Plymouth Canton Community Schools. She comes to us from Tonda Elementary School as the school principal. Before her time at Tonda School, she worked in Huron Valley Schools as the Director of Elementary Education, as well as being a teacher and a building support coordinator in that school district. We are very grateful that you will be helping us and taking us to another level with curriculum and professional development, so welcome.
Good evening to the board and to the core team. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I will tell you, I've been in education, Am I on 24 years now? And since my first year of teaching, curriculum has been my passion. I love working with children on a daily basis, and I'm going to miss my family at Tonda, of course. But I'm excited for the opportunity to be able to help continue move forward in the direction we've gone. My good friend Elizabeth Mosier is here, and Liz and I have worked very closely together, and I think that's a benefit too, that the work that's in place, that's not changing. We're going to continue to move forward in the positive way that we've been going. So thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to working with all of you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bittersweet.
Thank you, Deirdre. Very happy for you.
Congratulations. Glad you're here.
Okay, next I would like to introduce Erin Wenrick. So Erin, come on up. Hi, Erin. Are you going to give us something?
I brought the purse.
I knew it. So Erin comes to us from Tonda Elementary School as a classroom teacher there, and currently she's teaching 5th grade. Before she taught at Tonda, she worked at Figo Elementary School, as well as serving as a middle school teacher at Lowell Middle School. Erin has now been selected to be the student support coordinator at Hoban Elementary School. So congratulations, Erin.
Thank you.
We are very thankful that you are taking on this new role in our district, and we know that you will be able to serve even more children in this role. So welcome and congratulations.
Thank you. And I, too, want to go with the idea of being grateful. I first want to say thank you so much to my family. I have a lot of family here tonight, and I'm very grateful for them. I'm very grateful to Tonda for letting me try this great opportunity, because it just came at the right time in my life, so I'm so happy. But I want to show my extra gratitude to the core team for believing in me and giving me this opportunity, because, as I mentioned, this is really very special to me, once in a lifetime opportunity. So thank you, core team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we'll share. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's
cute. Oh, I've got more.
It's like Mary Poppins.
Thank you.
Oh, we get a pen too?
Thank you. No pen, just extra. Thank you. Thank you for this extra opportunity.
Erin, I'm so happy for you. You're going to do great work.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
It's her first of
Thank you.
I know. I feel like it must be. It must be a thing.
Okay, next, some more exciting news from HR. We are going to recognize teachers in our district who are receiving tenure this evening. So that means that they have had 5 successful years in what we call the probationary period, and now they've completed that and they are ready to receive tenure. And the 3 teachers this evening are Derek Ayers, Leah Bembinski, and I know Leah is here with us this evening, and Richard Swift. If you're here, come on up. Okay, well, we are going to congratulate them on TV. So here we go. Derek Ayers, social studies teacher at Discovery Middle School, and Terry Sawchuk has said this about Derek. I am writing to recommend that Derek Ayers, 6th grade social studies teacher at Discovery Middle School, receive tenure from Plymouth Canton Community Schools. Derek's work over the past 6 years can only be described as exceptional. Instructionally, Mr. Ayers is one of the finest teachers that I have had the pleasure of working with over my 26-year career. His students truly connect with him. Derek is both demanding and compassionate. In addition, Derek is always learning and contributing to the district and school as a whole. He is currently working to complete his master's degree in educational leadership. Furthermore, Mr. Ayers serves as an athletic liaison, coaches cross-country and track, and supervises the 6th grade lunch period at Discovery Middle School. Derek Ayers is a hardworking district employee and a respected leader at Discovery Middle School. So congratulations, Derek. Leah Babinski, counselor at Salem High School, and Kim Villarosa has written this about Leah. Leah Babinski is an exceptional counselor, for the Plymouth Canton Community School District. She has worked with students at Salem High School for the last 3 years, and previous to that time worked at Starkweather Academy. Leah enthusiastically seeks creative ways to meet the needs of all students, staff, and parents. Leah has an extremely cheerful, positive personality and encourages everyone that comes in contact with her. Congratulations, Leah. Next, for tenure, Richard Swift, teacher of students with cognitive impairments at Discovery Middle School. And here's what Terry Sawchuk has to say about Richard. I am writing to you to recommend that Richard Swift, teacher of students with cognitive impairments at Discovery Middle School, receives tenure from Plymouth Canton Community Schools. Based on his performance during the last 5 years, Richard Swift exhibits proficiency in the areas of human relationships with students, staff, parents, and the Discovery community. Richard's strengths are his planning skills and knowledge of his content area and the P-CCS curriculum. Mr. Swift's education experience includes a master's degree in cognitive impairment from Eastern Michigan University. Mr. Swift has grown as a teacher during the last 5 years. He has learned to plan appropriate curriculum-based lessons that promote student growth and achievement. He has worked with other staff members to ensure a consistent curricular experience for all students. Richard Swift is a hardworking district employee and a respected leader at Discovery Middle School. So congratulations to Derek, Leah, and Richard for receiving tenure this evening. Thank you.
So next on our agenda, we are at B, which is celebrating success. And I get to be the presenter tonight. So. Celebrating Success this evening will honor Humanetics Innovative Solutions Incorporated with the Volunteer in Public Schools VIPs Award. Humanetics is a Michigan-based company and the world's leading supplier in the design and manufacture of sophisticated crash test dummies, software for computerized crash test simulations, and associated technical support and laboratory services. As part of their move to a new headquarters building, Humanetics made a large donation of office furniture and other items from their Plymouth Township location to the Plymouth Canton Community School District. The donations were made last December and January, so this is a long time coming. A volunteer parent group was also involved in identifying school needs and arranging the delivery of items to specific schools through Mike Peterson's Maintenance and Operations Department. Over 235 items were donated, including 110 chairs, over 50 bookcases, shelves and filing cabinets, and over a dozen tables and workbenches. Almost every P-CCS school received something in this effort. I would like to invite parent volunteer Kim Choi and Brian Slattery, manufacturing engineer and manager of Humanetics Innovative Solutions, up to the podium, please. So Kim, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Kim Choi, and the parent volunteer group is actually the Supply Closet, which is a Facebook group that I created with the help of my able-bodied assistants here, Kathy Vriedeveld and Brenda Adams and Sarah Kautz. Basically, we saw a need that these classrooms didn't have the supplies that they needed, the resources they needed. Nick's actually put up a video of some of the furniture that was donated by Humanetics. And as part of that group, Jan was a member, and she posted to say that Humanetics had some items that we could give to the teachers. So rather than have poor Jan and Brian try to do it between them, we stepped up and used the supply closet as the way to get the things to the teachers. And so on behalf of all the teachers and the staff and the administrators, and all the students, because the students were super excited by a lot of the things that arrived, because while there's furniture and chairs and everything, it went down to staplers. I don't know. There was so much stuff I can't even remember. I mean, there was just so much that Humanetics were very generous and gave to the district. Like I say, the supply closet is a Facebook group, and usually it's just small things. This was a huge, huge event for us, and we couldn't have done it without the help from Mike Peterson and his team, specifically James McMullen. They gave up their time and ran around the district back and forth over the course of probably 4 days, just going backwards and forwards, delivering things. And one of the stories which I did share with Brian at the time was, this happened all around Christmas time that we started. One of the teachers I actually delivered a chair to myself personally. I was heading that way, so I took it with me in the car. I went into the classroom and gave it to the teacher, and as I was talking to her, she said, "I'm so excited about this chair, I'm so excited." And I said, "Why?" She said, "Because now I can ask my husband for something decent for my Christmas present." Because my chair was really on its last legs, held together with duct tape, and I'd asked my husband, could he please buy me a chair for the classroom? So now I can actually get something for myself. So that's how much impact you guys had. And I would just like to thank you. I would like to thank Jan, if you would come up, please. I know that you probably don't want to, but I think it's important. Because without the two of you, there's a lot of teachers that wouldn't have the things they have today. And I also want to make a point of saying thank you to Mr. O'Connor from Humanetics, who allowed us to take your valuable time at the end of year when it's crazy busy to help us. So thank you so much. Would you like to say something?
Thank you, Kim. Good evening. Our CEO would have liked to have been here. He's out of town and on business, but we are very grateful that we were able to donate to such a good cause. Generally, when you donate, you kind of hand things off and you never know what happens. Kim shared some of the stories, and knowing they've had such a positive impact on some of the teachers and staff makes it especially satisfying. So thank you very much. We're glad that we could help, and we appreciate this. So thank you.
So thank you so much, Brian. And on the behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to present Humanetics with the Volunteer in Public Schools Award. And could you all go up, whole family, go up and shake the board members' hands, please.
Like everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am, well, I'm going to wait for the teachers.
Thank you. Thank you.
She already told me. We're already set.
So if you would go ahead with committee reports, and then I'll do mine when I get back.
All right, so Kate is going to go take some pictures. So we're going to come back to the president's report when she gets back. So first up is Student Performance and Achievement Committee with Anupam.
Thank you. Our next meeting is October 10th at 4:30 p.m. We are looking for 2 community members to join our Student Performance and Achievement Committee, and all the information is on our website. So if you visit PCCSK12.com and scroll to the bottom of the page, there is a link for Join the PCCS Board of Education SPA, Policy, and F&O committees. They'll mention the other ones. But we can't do this work without the community input. So we're looking for at least 2 members for the SPA committee, and all the information as far as what needs to be submitted goes to Liz. And the deadline for that, you still have time if you're interested. The deadline is September 28th, and once we review all the materials, we will hold interviews in early October, And we will invite you to our first October 10th meeting. Thank you.
I guess when there's only the one family, it doesn't take them too long to get the picture.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the president's report. And I wanted to make everyone aware, if they aren't already, that there's an election coming up. And that does mean Board of Education elections are happening. We have 2 seats that will be open. One is a 2-year partial term, and the other one is a 6-year term. So, and they will be on the nonpartisan portion of the ballot. So tonight, if there are any people who are candidates for any of these 2 Board of Education seats, I would invite you to stand when I call your name. So for the 2-year partial term, we have Amina Ahmed. Is she here tonight? Okay, I see her. And then we also have, I believe, John Lazarowitz. Is he here tonight? Right here. Okay. And then for the 6-year term, we have Anupam Chugsidhu, who's currently on our board. She's here tonight. And we also have Leonardo Savage. Is he here tonight? Okay, no, I don't see him. Okay, so I just wanted everyone to be aware that these are important elections, even though they might be way down at the bottom of your ballot or on the back of your ballot. Please don't forget to vote for Board of Education, nonpartisan section of the ballot. Okay. So now we are at Policy Committee, and Member Crouch.
Well, well, we continue to have fun at Policy. We are rocking and rolling. Our next meeting is tomorrow at 5:30 here at the board office. Tomorrow's meeting is going to be a really good meeting. We'll be reviewing and having a working session. We'll be reviewing our video surveillance and our camera security guidelines tomorrow at Policy meeting. It'll be a working meeting. We'll also have our new Director of Safety who will be there with us, and we'll be kind of just taking a fresh look at safety and you know, security and our cameras and how that all relates. We do a lot of good things at Policy as it relates to, you know, where we want to move forward as a district, and so it's probably one of, see, I didn't say the best, I said it's one of the best committees to come to because it definitely is a committee that kind of sets the direction for the district. And so I certainly invite anyone out there to join us. Again, we will be meeting tomorrow at 5:30 here at the board office. All are welcome.
Okay, thank you. And finally, last but not least, is Finance and Operations. Member Kehoe.
Thank you, and I'm really excited to hear about policy. I think I may join tomorrow to see what all the fuss is about. We did have a great Finance and Operations Committee meeting here last Tuesday, September 18th. We talked about capital financing options. We talked about the finance reports from the year-end period in January. I'm sorry, that ended in June last year, and preparing for the the closing of the books for last year. And we talked about some urgent purchases that we have to make with regards to water storage tanks, which we'll hear about in the agenda this evening. So, you know, I think it's fun and exciting. I think, you know, we don't have the same enthusiasm that we do here for our regular board meetings, and that makes me sad. We are looking for new candidates or additional people to join us as citizens representatives at the F&O meeting. If you can't make the time to do that, you can certainly come out to any one of those individual meetings. We will have one coming up early in November. When we finalize that date, we'll talk about those at in the October meeting. And I encourage anybody to join us as part of that process. Thank you.
I was just thinking when you said that, security, water.
Hey, water's important.
Water is life. Water is life.
Okay, we are now at letter D, which is citizens' comments. I have 4 slips tonight. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak who did not fill out a slip? So each person who speaks will get 3 minutes, and Mr. Brandon will be timing, and it'll be right up there. First, we have Jennifer Martinez.
Good evening. As you stated, my name is Jennifer Martinez, and I am currently a kindergarten paraprofessional at Workman Elementary. I have been in the district for 8 years, and for the past 7 years, I have the luxury of walking into our classrooms to be greeted by anywhere between 20 and 29 students, depending on the school year. When I arrive each morning, I take time to help each student get their day started, assist them with their morning work, their lunches, help soothe those anxious tears. And I'm lucky to be part of a team of 5 kindergarten teachers and 5 kindergarten paras who work closely for a common goal, student success. In addition to helping our teaching staff with copying and prepping our workload for the week, I assist the teacher with identifying individual student needs. I work one-on-one with students who need academic support and also work with small groups to help strengthen their skills and build the confidence they need to succeed. Excuse me. When the students return from their morning recess each day, I am there to help them run their center time with the teacher. This may not seem like a lot to all of you. However, time is not on a kindergarten para's side. We have a total of 2.5 hours each morning to complete our daily tasks, and sometimes I have to run out of the classroom because my time is up. I truly enjoy the work that I do and adore the children that I meet each year, and I know that I am valued by the teachers I work with every day. My intention is that you see the value and acknowledge all of the paras and all of the hard work that we do. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Brooke Deachin.
Uh-oh. Next time I'll have a printout. Hi, I'm Brooke Deachin, and I'm here to give you an update on the former Central Middle School, which is now Park Plymouth Arts and Rec Complex. 2 years ago, my family moved back to Southeast Michigan due to a job transfer. And after considering the schools and the seemingly thriving downtown community, we chose to buy a house right here in Plymouth. Shortly after starting school, we realized that there weren't quite enough services and extracurricular opportunities offered at the schools for our kids' interests. And as you know in this room, all of you watching this video know, we have limited resources at P-CCS to meet all of the needs and interests of our large student body. Fortunately, shortly after moving here, we discovered Park and got involved in some of the programs offered there. What we found was not just an interesting class, a pool, and a theater program, but a real sense of community. Not just to drop your kid off for an in-and-out class, but a gathering place for community members to pursue their common but varied interests. It was within the walls of Park that we really connected with and got to know our neighbors and got involved in our new hometown. What we found at Park was a home for the heart and soul of our community. I want to thank the board today for having the foresight and confidence in partnering with Park and local philanthropists so that the former Central Middle School could still be used as a resource to benefit our community. On the upcoming November ballot, the residents of Plymouth, both city and township, will be asked to vote on a .75 millage proposal to upgrade and improve the facility, fixed cost for the Plymouth Arts and Rec Complex, and build an 800-seat performance theater between Park and the Plymouth Cultural Center. If the proposal passes, the facility will be owned by a public entity called PARA, which in the future will be made up of an elected board like this one. The operations of the facility will be run by Park, the existing 501c3, and the rent from the various tenants that find their home at Park and the rental of the new theater will provide the sustainable revenue stream needed for the ongoing operating costs for Park. The theater is critical to the sustainability plan for Park, for it to be self-sufficient. The $7 million philanthropic gift to our community to be used for this purpose is dependent on this upcoming millage proposal passing. If this ballot proposal doesn't pass, we will likely lose this limited resource in our community. The pool, the gym, the athletic fields, all gone and sold to the highest bidder. We in the P-CCS community desperately need to protect this valuable resource in our community. This philanthropic donation is a gift that many communities don't have the luxury of receiving. It is a gift given in part because of the donor's love of historical preservation. In order to preserve this resource, we need to invest some of our own tax dollars to update this 100-year-old historic gem so that we can enjoy these opportunities for generations to come. Help us to preserve the past and create the future. Vote yes for Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is our Kim and Richard Choi. Do you want to come up together? Okay.
Okay, as you know, my name is Kim Choi, and I live at Pelham Court, Kenton. I'm the mom to 3 teenagers at the park. As you're aware, in the past couple of weeks, there have been at least 2 events that have resulted of the loss of life of a student in the local school districts, one in Warren and one here in Plymouth, Kenton. While the situations are different in many ways, they're connected in how they have adversely affected the students, teachers, staff, and the Plymouth Kenton community. As my role on Facebook, with the Facebook groups, over the past 10 days, and since the letter of September 13th that was sent to the PCEP parents from the principals of the 3 high schools, parents have been asking me questions, such as, how exactly does the district provide support and information to the students, staff, parents, and local community following a tragedy? What is P-CCS's protocol and policy for such situations? Do we even have one? Do we have a crisis response team like the other districts do? If not, why not? Do students know what to do or where to go other than calling OK to say? What supports and resources are currently in place for students who may be struggling with mental health issues quietly? And what can we as parents and a community do to help? In trying to answer these questions, I searched the district website and student code of conduct for guidance, but only found policy number 5350, student suicide, which mentions an intervention procedure but offers no details. What parents are looking for is information on how the district offers both crisis and ongoing support to the surviving classmates, staff, students, and families, including those that may have not known the student directly. And also, what supports are in place for the general mental health of our students. We are fortunate here to have amazing local resources such as the U of M Depression Center, the National Alliance of Mental Illness Metro Detroit group. So there are plenty of available resources to draw from. Excuse me. There have been many high-profile tragedies due to mental health issues lately. Celebrities talk about it, YouTubers talk about it. There's even Broadway musicals about it. We hear about it in the news. Our kids hear about it, and our kids talk about it, online and to each other. But to many, when an incident happens in our own community, the school district appears to remain silent or offers only a short scripted response. I believe the district should provide information and support to all students and their families, done in a way that still respects the privacy and wishes of the families involved, with who exactly they should go to, how do students talk about it, what do they say? Is it okay to miss class to go to talk to someone? What about the test I have? Is it okay to miss it? Etc., etc. Okay, next. Other school districts are able to balance the need to be truthful with the school community and with the need to be sensitive to the family. So there are examples and benchmarks available. Sorry, my mouth is drying up. The reason is simple. After an incident, there is a support gap that extends beyond those directly involved. There is an opportunity to address those who fall beyond the initial at-risk group. Prevention and grief counselling, but also ongoing support for related mental health issues such as depression, anxiety disorders, ADHD, etc. We need to let our kids know that we see you. You are not alone. If there is a clear policy regarding these matters, I encourage you to share them with the larger community. And if there isn't, I encourage you to take this up at the policy committee meeting and discuss next steps. Finally, I asked that the school board consider how a respectful but visible public response is important. It's interesting. In response to bullying and harassment, we teach our children that silence is consent, silence is complicity, silence is acceptance. This is even more reason that we need to hear from our schools. Parents feel the district has an obligation to do more. We need to end the silence around mental illness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just before I go, I would like to say that our paras deserve a pay rise.
Member Crouch?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, just so that everyone is aware, just in a little bit, we did talk about mental health. We had a whole session on mental health at our May policy meeting to talk about a number of the things that you raised here, and we certainly have more work to do, and we will be talking about it some further at our October meeting. So I did just want to say that, and then I would just ask, you had a list of questions there. Is it okay to have her send them to the,
I was going
to
to
the
ask.
board?
Yeah, please send your questions. Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on, we are now at administrative reports recommendations, and first up is the superintendent's report.
Thank you, and I think it's timely. I was going to actually talk about Moments with Merit, which is coming on, I think it's online right now, 88.1 Park, and my latest interview is with our new Director of Safety, John Walker, and really talking about the plans that we have moving forward and some work that we're doing with crisis teams that are in place. So as we hear about what that communication plan looks like, we do have crisis teams at each of our buildings, but really strengthening when we say that our number one priority is the safety of our students and our staff, and we really wanted to invest in that and have that person who is our content level expert to really lead that work. And so we're happy, and I want to invite people to listen to that interview with Director Walker. He will be here in our district really leading the work as 6 pillars, as it talks about the training that we have, as it talks about our design of some of our buildings, our crisis teams, and things along those lines. On the flip side, through our teaching and learning, we also have a lot of social emotional supports that we're putting in place, so having an opportunity to come together and communicate those across our community, because we do have that big commitment. So just wanted to share that. Also want to invite our parents to come out. Parent Council will take place on this Friday. That's September the 28th. I believe that's the first meeting of the year. Will take place here in this boardroom. So we want to invite all to attend that may be able to attend. Coffee with Monica is this week, and that's always an opportunity for us to engage with our community. It will take place Thursday, and that is in the evening. We try to vary those meetings to just account for the schedules of our community. This month we'll be in Canton at Sweetwater's, 6 to 7. I heard that there was some confusion because people heard of the Monica showing across the county. I mean the district. It is true. So Monica's Coffee, 6 to 7. I invite you to be there. Also that evening, CPAC has their first kind of a relaunch of CPAC. It's a gathering, which is our Special Education Advisory Council, and that will take place, I believe, from 6:30 to 8, and that will be at Liberty Middle School. So I will exit the coffee at 7. I will get on my skates and move over to the CPAC and make sure that I have an opportunity to engage there as well. But really continuing to increase opportunities for voice, because your voice is important, and to engage about things that are going well and maybe some concerns or questions that you may have, always on a path to continuous improvement for our district. I wanted to also just address for the community negotiations, because I know that we hear that a lot. I want to say in this district, what we have is the IBB process. That's the interest-based bargaining process. We value labor relations in our district, and we value our employees. And I know that at times, as information gets out, sometimes information that's not factual, sometimes things become emotional or debated. But what I believe in is the process. I believe in IBB because we work together, and as we kind of learn, you know, I'm looking at Heather, the team, through that process, it's interest-based, and you are able to see the situations from both sides, and you really work together as a team. It takes a while sometimes, and what we always say is that the contract that comes at the end is not always 100% for everyone, is not as happy, but we usually say then that means we've reached a good deal. but we do it together. So I will say, in retrospect, we've had 8 contracts that we've settled now, and each contract, when we think about our community coming together with our enhancement millage, when we think about the work that has been intentional with our staff in bringing students back to our district, we continue to grow with the mindset that as we've been fiscally responsible, we really want to work to have competitive salaries for all of our employees. We value labor relations, but more than that, we value our employees in this district. So yes, we do have 2 remaining contracts. As I've said, all that we've settled has been with that same mindset, is how do we make sure that we are fairly compensating our staff and that we are competitive so that we can keep our staff. And so I do want you to know that that is not a situation where we're saying, hey, we can't do, but I believe in a process. We will get through it. I know with our paras, we've had a break, but we're back from the summer. I believe we're negotiating this week, and I look forward to our time together. And for our other group of extended day, we will get there, I am confident, because that's the strength of our community and the work that we do together. So I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledge that. And I do know as things are debated, and as I said, information is out there, even as we post, and we're trying to hire positions, and it becomes difficult. We really do want to work together, because it's important when we fill our positions. The most important person in this district is the student that we serve, and so we want to make sure that we have quality people in front of them, and most importantly, that we are compensating our people fairly. So I just wanted to be able to speak to that, and I always, I'm the glass half full. I am confident in process. I'm confident in our people, and we will get there. So just thank you for that.
Next is marketing and partnerships, and I believe we have a presentation tonight from Frank Ruggiero.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me the time tonight to talk to you. This will be a short presentation. I've been on the job about a month and a day, so I thank you for allowing me to come back to this great school district. But the wonderful part about having spent almost 11 years here and coming back is most of the people, most of the players, the community. So we've really been able to hit the ground running here, and I believe we've gotten quite a bit of work done in the last month. So thanks to our staff, we've had a lot of conversations, and I think we've got this ship pointed in the right direction. And we wanted, Superintendent Merritt wanted me to come tonight and tell you a little bit about the things we've been doing and where we're heading with this whole partnership game here in the district. You want to bring that up for me, Nick? So as we always do, we want to make sure that everything makes sense as we move forward. So as we created a mission for our work, we talk about the development of robust, active, and timely programs, and we talk about the district being diverse and the range of working with local colleges and universities. We're really blessed in this area to have some wonderful colleges and universities. Having come from Schoolcraft, I know the great things that they offer there, but we have other great community colleges in the area, in addition to Michigan, Michigan State, Eastern, all those great schools in the area. They really have a lot that can be taken advantage of here in our district, and that's really the most important part of the work that we'll be doing. Also, the businesses. We have 2 great chambers of commerce in the area that help us work with the businesses locally here, and they want to be a part of the work that we do in our district as well. So that's really just in general the things that we're doing, and those things will benefit our students, our families, and our community overall. So goals for the program, we thought it was important to put some of those on paper as we move forward. Obviously, partnerships will impact our students by providing additional options and improved learning experiences. We've been talking specifically about how can we improve, just looking at the park as one example, as we look at those, at those great academies out at the park. We're going to do some conversations with the leaders of those academies and with the teachers, and talk about what we can do to improve those things and what they might need, what kinds of things can the community bring in, and what might other colleges and universities be able to help us out with. Business partnerships, again, how will that impact our students, and give them an idea of what it looks like, what they're learning in the classroom, and how that translates to the workplace as they move forward. University partnerships also, we believe, will help us attract the best, brightest, and most diverse staff, particularly teaching staff here in the district. And of course, it's most important for us as we talk about the dynamic plan and how all of this fits with the dynamic plan. So I'll show you a little of that now. There are 3 specific areas where partnerships fit into the dynamic plan. Here you see in teaching and learning, maybe the most important area as we look at the K-12 STEM, the career technical education, and so forth, just as we look at common assessments, different things, Michigan academic standards, those kinds of things fits very nicely into teaching and learning. And I've been working with Dr. Bender and his team as we've talked about partnerships and how they might begin here in the district. Second area, as I mentioned earlier, is human resources. Again, how do we attract the best, the brightest, and the most diverse staff to the district so that we're always providing the best for our students. So it's obvious where that connection is in the human resources area. And then, of course, in the marketing area, it's important for us to be connected, particularly to the business community, and as we bring those resources to our district as well. So let's talk about a process a little bit and talk first about the existing partnerships. And these are probably the most prominent and most significant ones that we know of as of right now. And these are just a few of the colleges and universities that we're working with at the moment. We'd like to expand this list quite a bit. Those things can come to us, we think we know that they want to work with us, and we know that they can bring a lot to the table for us. So these are Schoolcraft College, of course, we're working with dual enrollment and some CTE things, support there. Michigan State, we've got student teachers there. As you folks know, back in August, you approved Central Michigan as a possible source for us to bring student teachers in. And then we have some CTE articulation with Baker, Ferris, and Washtenaw Community College. So how will we move forward? With several conversations, and I will tell you again, there's many conversations yet to be had. But as we look at the short term, specifically Nick and Dr. Bender and I sat down and had several conversations about what are the short-term goals, what do we want to get to, what's the low-hanging fruit, what are the things that we can get to right away. And these were the areas that we identified and that we're working on actually vigorously right now. Support for visual and performing arts, attracting those student teachers. In fact, Dr. Vartanian Gibbs and I already have a couple of appointments set with Michigan State University, and we're going to be reaching out very shortly to Eastern. And then paraprofessionals and early childhood partnerships. In fact, next week, Maureen Malloy and Dana Jones and I will be meeting with Schoolcraft College about their wonderful early childhood program and how that program may be a feeder to our school district. Beautiful part about Schoolcraft, again, is my experience there and the programs that they offer. We know that they offer some great programs that can be great help to us. As we look at the future, dual enrollment is one that we hear a lot of conversation about. Of course, we are doing some dual enrollment. How might we expand that throughout the district? Enhance our current academy partnerships. I mentioned that earlier. Again, I plan to go out and speak with each of the academy leaders, find out what their needs are. Again, having those conversations with the park leadership as well as our middle school leaderships, our elementary leadership, find out what their needs are and see how we can accomplish that, not just with the colleges and universities, but also with the businesses in the area. And then professional development opportunities for our school teachers and for our administrators as well. So the action steps that we've identified right away, as I mentioned, Dr. Vartanian Gibbs and I will be meeting with Michigan State University next month. We'll be attending a high school leaders meeting at the park to, again, get the input from all our staff about what's needed, where we are with dual enrollment, the academy, the Arts Academy, IB, STEM, CTE, where are we and where do we want to be? And then meet with the Arts Academy leadership. That's happening actually on Thursday of this week. I'll be meeting with Amy Williker Brown. And then we just got a meeting on the books today with Wayne State University to talk about what's possible with them. And that meeting will take place, I believe, November 16th. We just got that meeting on the books today, so we're excited about that. Wayne has not done any of these types of partnerships with K-12, so this will all be brand new for them. So it feels like anything is possible, so we're excited about that. And we know they bring a lot to the table for us, particularly in the area of diversity. So we're excited about that. Meet with each academy leader separately, as I mentioned, and then very important, we'll be meeting with Eastern Michigan. We know that they've been here. We know that they've talked to you. We know they've been hungering for a partnership with the district, and we will be following up on that absolutely. And we'll have reports for you as we move along. So action steps with the business. Again, this is an area that's really actually very well developed at this point. We are very blessed to have two very very excellent chambers of commerce in the area, and they really kind of focus a little bit different. And so they bring a lot to the table for us. The Plymouth Chamber is very connected to the business community here, but the businesses in the areas are very different. And so Wes brings a lot of experience, but also is connected to businesses that may eventually be able to invest in the district, and we're excited about that. The Canton Chamber of Commerce has been doing a lot of work lately, as you know, with the workforce work. They had Mike, help me out here. The Manufacturing Day. I'm so sorry. Manufacturing Day, and the medical fields that they showed to our students. They're also working with us on the Marshall Plan. We're moving forward with that project with a number of our staff members, including Dr. Bender, as well as the SME Prime Grant, which is being sponsored by both of our chambers. And then we'll always look for other opportunities with both those chambers to bring in significant business and industry partnerships, engineering, accounting and finance, cybersecurity, the big areas that our students are most interested in, IT, marketing, and manufacturing. Okay? So that just gives you a little taste of where we're headed. Again, I'm very excited, having only been on the job a month, that we're moving forward, and we're moving forward quickly. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll be happy to give you reports as we move forward.
Questions? Member Crouch?
I have a question. Frank, let me start off by saying really great presentation. I really like the vision, the foresight, and just sort of what is the action plan to get things done in a concrete way. The one question I had, and it relates to some of the things we talked about today in the area of mental health, and it's one of the things we talked about at our policy committee meeting in May, is, I mean, we talk about the things that fit under the dynamic plan, but have we thought about partnerships that help students in other ways? So, for example, one of the areas where we know we could use some assistance is the counseling area, and we had talked about at policy that there are some other school districts, some of our other surrounding school districts have partnerships with some of the various universities for their Masters of Social Work students, and we had talked about in policy the importance of our district trying to establish some of those partnerships. And I know it doesn't neatly fit within the dynamic plan, but considering some of the things we talked about today, you know, is that something that we could put on the list as a future partnership to discuss? I'm sure our counselors would appreciate it as well, and our students, because it is the one area where we could certainly use some beefing up.
Sure. I think the beautiful part about this position is that it's new.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can take it pretty much any direction the district needs. And so if that's the direction, certainly that's certainly something we can look into. It isn't anything we've talked about at this point, but again, it's so early in the process. I appreciate those comments, and we will take a look at that.
Yeah.
And definitely, as it relates to the dynamic plan, as the social emotional supports that are in play, it connects there. And although we haven't gotten as far down to Frank, we've actually started those conversations within CORE, looking at neighboring school districts such as Ann Arbor and the partnership that they have with U of M, and realizing the supports that we can have in place. So I'm definitely making that connection. Hey, Frank, here it comes.
And I've taken some notes here tonight, so we'll make sure we follow up on that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, other questions?
No,
I know, I'm looking at this side first. Okay, Member Kehoe.
First.
So Frank, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate the concrete action plans and the speed that you're moving. That's one of the things that I am particularly always harping on here, is how to move faster, and I really appreciate you being here a month and really taking advantage of the great groundwork that had already been laid, but really accelerating that. So thank you. The second question was, Monica mentioned this a little bit, is I noticed you're really engaging with most of the universities, but I saw University of Michigan was notably absent from that list. Does U of M have programs that they do to coordinate with local districts, or as you indicated, Monica, are they exclusive to Ann Arbor?
No, they're not exclusive, and there is a level of interest. And so kind of to that same fast conversation, we're going to get there as well. And we've already, if you remember, just a few years ago, we had them at the table and we were working on a partnership. So there's definitely a level of interest and also with the social worker department. So we will continue to pursue that. Is the first month on the job, he's tackled a lot, but we have future plans. as
Okay,
well.
great. And then the other thing is that you briefly talked about how the work that we're doing with the Prime program, and I'm really excited about the Prime program. I've spoken to teachers at Starkweather Academy, and that they're incredibly excited about what we're doing with that Prime program. And I think that it's going to be a real opportunity for us in the community to build those deeper relationships. So,
Absolutely. Thank you.
Member Sidhu?
I echo my colleagues, my board members who have commended you on the presentation and the direction that you're headed. So congratulations on that. If you could talk a little bit about the dual enrollment, in your action steps and looking in the future, the dual enrollment partnerships.
Sure.
Where we are currently, where do you hope to see us grow into? And then maybe for the larger team, if we could get some numbers in an upcoming meeting about our current dual enrollment numbers.
Sure. What I can tell you about dual enrollment is in many districts where they don't offer a really robust list of courses, dual enrollment is absolutely more popular. Because there's so much offered at the park, I think it's been a little bit less than in some other areas. I think, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, this is about, we'll get out there, we'll have some conversations to see where it really fits. I can tell you that there are several hundred students, I believe, actually at Schoolcraft alone taking a course or two, just from my time there. So there are students that are doing that. They're getting college credit as they are going in high school here. But again, it's more investigatory. We have to see what the needs are, talk to the staff, and see how a dual enrollment piece fits here. There are other districts that do it, but again, they don't have academies like we do. So we have to see how it fits and how it will mesh with our current situation. Okay.
Just, I think people need to understand the benefit of dual enrollment. I mean,
Yep.
for our kids to get college credit and not have to pay for those courses once they
Right.
leave is a huge benefit. So I would like to see that grow, and just looking forward to what you can bring to the table.
Yeah, it's already grown quite a bit just in the short time I've been gone, but I need to, again, connect out at
Yep.
the park and find out work with Dr. Bender and figure out where we make our best connection.
Thanks.
Okay.
In case anybody was wondering what our looks were a moment ago, we're getting a lot of thunder in the background. It's quite loud, and I don't know if it's transferring onto the recording, but it's actually quite, it almost sounds like trucks. So it's
I'm glad you clarified. People might think we were making faces at Frank.
yeah, we're not making faces at Frank. We're just like, wow, that storm
Kurt
sounds
was
bad
making
out
face.
there. So are there other questions?
Yeah, I have
Member
one.
Crouch.
Yeah, I
again.
have one more thought that just came to my mind when I was looking back over the business. Just the thought about, I don't know where the Blue Ribbon Panel stands in partnership with them. I know we had done a lot of work with them originally, and then we haven't done as much lately. And so I'm just wondering where they are in the picture in terms of your thought process for partnerships.
Yeah, I can't speak to the Blue Ribbon Panel before my time here, but certainly I can check with the team, and we can certainly work whatever work they've done in the past and see where there's a connection in the future.
I will say with the Blue Ribbon Panel, we tried to narrow the focus on our enrollment and really to stop the bleed and turn that around. So as we kind of looked at our phases, our final phase that we worked through was trying to get into the ambassador program. That really, the result is that Realtors Breakfast that now we continue on. So we kind of have some legacy from them. Will be some opportunity to get back together to say, is there another task that we would like the Blue Ribbon Panel to take on, or probably more updates as to where we stand. But I am happy to stand before you to say a lot of that work has been accomplished. Still work to do, because we all recognize we have what we know is over 2,000 of our Plymouth Canton students that still attend school outside of our district. Outside of our school, they live in our district, but charter schools, private schools in that area. So
They've been the reason I raise it is because they've been in general pretty successful and have given us some pretty good ideas, but also because your third slide about business talked about the various organizations in the community that you want to work with, of which many of those organizations are part of that panel. So I just want to make sure as we talk about partnerships and things like that, that we also leverage existing groups that we've been working with that are made up of those. And
Absolutely.
so I know it's like you said, it was before your time, so I just wanted to, highlight it as well as something that we should, certainly consider.
Okay, thank you.
So, I actually have a question, but I wanted to reiterate what Member Crouch just said. We have some very good connections through the Blue Ribbon Panel, and so I think that it would be great to follow up on them. Also, just as a reminder to you and Monica, I have a couple of connections at one at Eastern and one at U of M Dearborn that I want to make sure I get to you. So I'm reminding myself on tape.
We won't let you forget. Thank you.
Also, I was wondering if you could just explain a little bit about the Marshall Plan.
Okay, Mike, I will ask you to give me a hand with that if you don't mind. Mike has been really involved and
Sure. So the Marshall Plan is being offered by the Michigan Department of Education, or really state of Michigan, actually, and it's very much about strengthening programming in terms of career exploration, career development, really to try to enhance and really bolster that talent pipeline from really kind of the origins of schooling, K-12 schooling, through specialized training, through universities, into the workforce. And so we're very, very excited about the opportunity to pursue some of the financial resources that are part of that Marshall Plan. And we're also very, very excited about our partnership with the Canton Chamber, Plymouth Chamber, who have been excellent partners as we pursue the Marshall Plan, very much about workforce readiness, those skills that will be attractive to employers. There are many, many unfilled positions throughout our region, throughout our state, and we're trying our best to position students to be able to pursue those positions, areas of interest for them. So we're very, very excited about that opportunity.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you so much, Frank.
thank you.
Thanks, Frank. That was pretty good.
Next, we have a couple of action items. I think that Member Kehoe mentioned during his report. They're from Finance and Operations. Member Kehoe, would you like to introduce them?
Sure. Do you want me to,
You want to speak about what they are?
do we want to make a motion first and then
Yep.
speak about them, or do you?
Make a motion.
Okay. Does anybody want to make a motion on
I'd be happy to make a motion.
action item 180926?
So, Madam President, I would move that we consider approval of a project to replace a domestic hot water heater at Plymouth High School. First and final reading, action item 180926.
I support.
Motion.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, we're second. I second.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to get better about our language.
Oh, okay.
So the motion was made by Member Kehoe and seconded by Member Mullen. Okay, now would you like to discuss? Member
Sure. So
Kehoe?
at Plymouth High School, we've had a problem where there's a leak in the holding tank that we use for the hot water system, and that is creating a problem where it needs to be repaired and needs to be replaced and cannot be repaired. The unit that is in this process is one that would be exchanged with a similar unit in there, so it'd be a like-for-like replacement. This will be paid for with the bond money that we have, and the total cost for this is $65,000 with the estimated soft costs included. At this point, this is nothing more than an opportunity for us to go out to bid. This is not actually making the purchase, but it's just authorizing the administration to put this process out for a bid. It is not although it says emergency in the thing, it's not a true emergency. It's just an urgent situation.
Thank you for clarifying. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. So, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay. And next we have action item 180927, which I also need a motion on.
I move that we consider approval of a project to replace the hot water storage tank at Salem High School. This is the first and final reading, action item 180927.
I second motion.
Okay. Motion was made by Member Kehoe and seconded by Member Mullen. Member Kehoe, could you give us a little explanation, please?
This is similar to the situation at Plymouth High School, but these, hot water tank that we have at Salem is actually suspended over the air conditioning unit. And it has a leak which is now leaking onto the air conditioning unit and causing a problem there. So they've been able to protect against that in the very short term, but it is something that needs to be replaced. And when they replace this, they can't really get that unit out of the building. So they have to cut the old tank apart and into pieces, and they will replace it with two smaller tanks that are similar, of a similar capacity. So that's why the cost for this particular one is projected to be a little bit more, at about $104,000, also projected to be coming out of bond money, and it's just an authorization for them to go out to bid on this process.
Any questions on this one? Okay. All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, and next, we have an action item about consider approval of official voting delegates and alternates to represent the Board of Education at MASB's 2018 Delegate Assembly. This is a final reading, and it's action item 180928. Do I have a motion on this, please?
We need to have a delegate first, or
I think we can do that in our discussion, or you can, are you volunteering?
no? I am not. It's in Grand Rapids.
It is in Grand Rapids. I did send an email to the board about this, and I didn't get any responses.
Because it's in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, because it's in Grand Rapids.
At the Amway Grand.
I might be willing to go as our delegate.
I think that's a great
support
idea.
your nomination.
That's a great idea.
second it.
It's on November 1st. Anybody else want to go with me?
I went last year
Yep,
because it
we
was in
went.
Lansing.
Yep,
This is a little bit farther out.
it is.
It is. It's.
Unfortunately,
Are you staying overnight, Kate?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to see what the weather's like. If I'm willing to put my name down and say I'll go. I can't promise that I will actually go, because if the weather is bad, I am not going to be driving to Grand Rapids.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm just
last
gonna
year
put that
it
out
was
there.
ice. We drove
Yeah,
in ice last year.
it was really scary coming home.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
could not see the road because it was snowing pretty heavily.
And that between Grand Rapids and Lansing.
Yeah, well, Grand
It's pretty
Rapids
bad.
gets hopefully
The lake
November
effect
1st
snow.
won't be too bad, but
Yeah.
At this point, I have a trip that I'm planning on going, but there is some question about that. The problem is I won't know until after the deadline of October 5th.
we could have you down as an alternate, if you wouldn't mind.
That's fine. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay.
But at this point, I would not be able to go, but there is some doubt in the specific trip.
Okay. All right. We understand. Okay. So, then I guess we need a motion on me being the delegate and Patrick being the alternate.
I move that we consider approval of the official voting delegates and alternates to represent the Board of Education at the MASB's 2018 Delegate Assembly, final reading, action 180928.
I second.
Okay. Motion was made by Member Kehoe and seconded by Member Brooks. Anybody wanted to discuss? Because I think we kind of just did. Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
I with gratitude.
Okay, now we are at letter G, which is a discussion about our board meeting schedule for November 6th. That is election day, and we have a board meeting scheduled for that day. And I'm hoping that we could discuss possibly moving that meeting, and then at our next meeting, we could vote on that. So, what do people think?
So where are we moving it to?
To November 13th, hopefully?
That actually works better for me. I would not be able to attend on November 6th.
Okay.
And just to be clear, because of Thanksgiving, we're meeting the next week on the 20th as well, so it's
Correct.
13th, 20th. but
Yeah,
we'll-
we'd have 2 meetings back to back. I mean, not back to back, but the weeks would be back to back.
Right.
A double header.
We just enjoy each other so much. We want to meet more often.
But there's no school the 21st.
So, okay, I wanted to make everyone aware of that, and then we can vote on a resolution to change our meeting next time.
Works for me.
Okay. All right, now we are at letter H, follow-up board questions. We did have a question last time about the summer programs data, and I believe we got that in board notes. Okay. Member Kehoe, that was your question, right? Was that?
That's fine.
Okay. And then tonight I have a couple of things. Let's see where I wrote them down. One, Member Cedarwood wanted the dual enrollment numbers. And then, not sure if yours was a question, Kim, or if it was just wanting to follow up with the blue ribbon panel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think they need to necessarily get back to me. It's just more, I think that they need to also, part of partnerships is recognizing the existing one. So, yeah, they don't need to get back to me, just do some.
Okay, so just the dual enrollment data. Okay. Now I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn, but go into a closed session.
Yeah, I move that we adjourn our normal board meeting, and I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session for the purposes of collective bargaining negotiations pursuant to Section 8C of the Open Meetings Act.
I second it.
Okay. Motion made by Member Kehoe and seconded by Member Brooks. Is there discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes 7-0. The regular meeting is adjourned as we go into closed session.